Hi everyone, welcome. Welcome to another week of our chair yoga session. This week we have got a Christmas special because this is going to be officially the final session that I'm recording before Christmas and also before the end of the year. Wow, what a crazy year it's been. I mean, what can I say? Here in London, just when you think it can't get any worse, the news brings up new tears, entirely new tears that haven't been existence before, and a mutant COVID virus, and yeah, the UK being closed off from other countries. I mean, it's crazy, crazy times, and we can't solve that. So sometimes, and I'm trying to practice this myself, the best thing to do is just to turn off the news because let's face it, we're still here, we're still breathing, we're still moving, we're fine. And sometimes just bombarding ourselves with these news updates doesn't really make it better, it just makes it worse. So instead, we're going to put all of this aside, putting it into a little box, placing it to the side. And we're going to do a final shortish yoga session, although you know me, whenever I say it's going to be short, it ends up being a half an hour anyway. But I want to do on purpose a session that's a little bit shorter that you can easily take a few times throughout the holidays if you're in the mood to move. No matter what your Christmas may look like. So our YouTube channel is there for you. Okay, I've got my hat on here. Let's see how warm I get with my hat. I've also got some water here, some tea, in case you hear me coughing during the session. Don't be alarmed. I've developed a little cough last week, but I had a COVID test. It's negative, so it's just a normal cough, which I probably picked up from my son, who brings home lots of lovely, lovely germs from nursery at the moment. But yeah, touch wood, we're all fine. So anyway, if you hear me coughing, don't worry at all. It's perfectly normal. So let's get comfortable. Make sure you maybe have a drink with you. You have closed down your, you closed your windows, your doors, turned off your radios, any distractions. So we can begin to slowly come into a little space that you created, sitting comfortably on a chair with or without arms. Maybe something under your feet. So I always a big fan of warm feet, so I tend to put a blanket there. I was wearing socks today. It's not too cold, to be honest, but I don't know. It's just a bit grey, and you just feel a little bit colder when it's grey outside automatically. So, yeah, having all the things ready. We're not going to need any props today for our session. Um, so, allow yourself to come into a comfortable position. And really allow yourself to sink back into the chair. Push the feet away from the body. Let them get, your thighs get really squishy. Allow your lower belly to soften. Let it puff out. And bring your palms resting on your knees, facing up or facing down. And then swallow a couple of times. We hold a lot of tension in our jaw, in our tongue, in our throat that we don't realize. So swallow a few times just to soften that, to let that go. And then allow the eyes to gently close. Taking any final shuffles, any movements that you need in your body. And then take a long breath in through the nose. And a big sigh out through the mouth. 2 more like this. Inhaling through the nose. And a big sigh out. Let it go. And then 1 more. Inhaling deeply. And sigh it out. Let your body get heavy. Let go of any muscular effort you're holding for a moment. And just take this opportunity before we start moving to assess how you're feeling, to do this little check-in with ourselves. How is our body feeling right now? What are the sensations that are present? Are there any areas that we need to look after today? Any areas of discomfort? And likewise, are there any areas in the body that are actually feeling quite good right now? And then notice how you feel inside, your mood, the feelings that are present, emotions. And know that these are all valid. We truly, truly, truly live in crazy times, and that can trigger all sorts of ranges of emotion, from the feeling content and happy that we are safe, that we are can be home, that we are secure, over to the other side of the spectrum of feeling stressed and anxious, worried or lonely, at this time of the year especially. We don't need to fix this right now. Just allow that emotion just to come up for a moment, almost bubbling up to the surface. And then treating yourself as you would treat a friend that is feeling those emotions. Maybe giving yourself an internal hug, telling yourself it's going to be okay. And then let's take a really deep breath in. So drawing all of these feelings up, the stresses, the worries, the things that you have to do or should do or haven't managed to get done. Breathe it all the way down into the belly. And then as the whole belly and the ribcage is full, can you hold the breath for a moment? And then open the mouth wide and sigh out as loud as you want to. Let it go. Let's do that one more time. Biggest breath you've taken so far today. Breathing in, draw the air down into the belly, down into the rib cage. Feel the heart rising. And as you can't take any more air in, hold it there for a moment. And then open the mouth wide, side out. And bring a little wriggle into your fingers and your toes. Very gently opening and closing your hands, your feet. Yes, you can open and close your feet. Begin to bring some rotations into your ankles and your wrists, and just notice any little popping sensations or clicking sensations that might be present. Checking in that whatever we do doesn't create any extra discomfort in the body. And then make that movement even bigger. Stretch the fingertips away from the body towards me, maybe up towards the ceiling, and give yourself a big stretch from side to side. Feeling a lovely stretch for the side body. And then release the palms back down into the lap. And we're going to stay seated here with our eyes closed a little longer. Of course, open your eyes if you feel more comfortable. But if you feel okay with the eyes closed, keep them gently closed, keeping the whole body soft as we release the chin down towards the chest. So letting the head get really, really heavy, moving sideways in case you want to take a peek. So we're sitting upright. It's just the chin drawing down to the chest, giving ourselves a lovely, lovely double chin. And then from here, draw the chin over towards your right shoulder. Hold it there. And then slowly release back to center. So drawing the chin back down towards the chest. And then as you next inhale, draw the chin over to the left shoulder. Holding it there. And then release back down. Good. One more time on each side. Inhaling over towards the right, feeling the stretch on the left side of your neck, the shoulder. Back to center. And over to the other side. Oh, this feels tight. Our poor shoulders and necks. All that stress, all the cold, all the hunching manifesting there. Release the chin back down to the chest. And then from here, let's slowly draw the head back up into an upright position. Good. One more stretch here for our neck. Let the right ear fall down to the right shoulder. And let's create that space between the tip of our left ear and the tip of the left shoulder. You can gradually go a little bit further if you want to. If not, stay right here. If you want a little bit more, you can extend the left fingertips down towards the floor, reaching the fingertips away, reaching for an imaginary mince pie or glass of mulled wine that's down there. Reaching, reaching. And if you want even a little bit more, you can take your right hand, slide it over onto the left side of your neck. If that feels okay, and begin to give your shoulders and your neck a little squeeze, a little rub. Gentle at first, just noticing any little knobbly bits, points of tension. And then slowly releasing the right hand back onto your knee, draw the left hand there, and slowly roll the chin back down to the chest. Let the head hang heavy here for a moment. before we uncurl again through our neck until the head is back in our upright position. And then let's change over onto the other side. So let the left ear fall down to the left shoulder, letting the head hang heavy, creating that space between the tip of the ear and your shoulder. And if you want a little bit more, you can gradually go further, reaching the right fingertips down towards the earth, stretching. Let's see what's on this side. Maybe another Yorkshire pudding, another pig blanket. Stretching it down. And then maybe taking the left hand over onto the right side of the neck and give yourself a squeeze. And if you are right-handed, you might notice that this side feels quite a lot more tension than the other side. Even if it doesn't feel like we have been doing a huge amount recently, you still have. You have been picking up things. Hopefully you've been drinking lots of coffees and teas. And when we favor one of the sides, that side tends to get a little bit tighter. So give it another good squeeze all the way up the neck. Feels nice. Feels nice if somebody else does it for us, of course, but in absence of that, this is pretty good too. And then release both hands back onto your lap. Roll the head back to center. Hold it there for a moment. And then slowly uncurling, come back into an upright position. And a gentle sigh out. And then from here, let's reach the fingertips away up to the ceiling. Let's give ourselves another good stretch from side to side. Gently blinking the eyes open as you're there. And then release the palms down onto your knees. And then slide yourself away from the back of the chair to come into that little bit more of an upright position. Good, I'm getting a little bit warm in here. Let's see if I'm going to take my jumper off. Let's see if the Christmas hat can stay. This is my last class. I think I'm recording before Christmas, so I'm going to try my best to keep my hat on. Good. All right. So sitting in this lovely upright position, the spine is long. We have a 90-degree angle here between our upper and our lower leg. Hands are on the knees, and you can use your hands here to press yourself, press the hands down so the spine comes a little bit longer. Let's begin to move a little bit through the spine. So release the arms. Inhaling, reach them up to the ceiling. Lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, draw the palms down. Let's take two more. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. Exhale, draw them down. One more time. Inhale, reach it high. Exhale to lower down. Bring the hands onto the knees. Inhaling, draw the chest forward, lift the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. So cat and cow. Let's do two more. Inhaling, draw yourself forwards. Exhaling to round. Notice how that feels in the spine. This might be the first time you're giving your spine some extensions or some back bends and some forward folds for today. Good. And then slowly come back to center. Roll the shoulders up, back and down, keeping your right hand where it is. Inhaling, reach the left arm up to the ceiling. If this is too strong for your shoulders, you can reach it halfway or keep the arm down on your knees, reaching high. Exhale, sink over towards the right. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, reach it over. So like a little Christmas tree swaying in the wind. You're going to sway a little bit from side to side. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhaling, come back to center. Exhaling, we're going to swap sides. Left arm comes down, right arm reaching high. Exhale, sink over towards the left. Good, two more. Inhaling to reach. Exhale to sink over. I'm just realizing I'm wearing pink stripes, yet a red Santa hat. So apologies, the color clash. Although a little bit of color at this time of the year can never hurt, I think. Inhaling to reach, exhale, release the arms. Good, let's bring a gentle twist into the spine. Right hand comes over to the left knee. Left arm gently comes behind you. You can grab hold of the chair, swing the arm back behind you, whatever works. Lift and lengthen. And then exhale, we're going to gently twisting over towards the left. Let's inhale, come back to center. Exhale, move back into the twist. We're going to do 2 more. Very gently moving into the spine, waking up the spine in all directions. Last time, looking over the left shoulder. And then release back to center and swapping sides. So left hand comes over into the right knee, right arm behind you. Lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, draw that shoulder back behind you, looking over the right shoulder. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling, looking back over the right shoulder. Feel free to close the eyes. Whenever you're not quite sure how something feels in your body, close the eyes and bring the awareness inwards. Last time, moving over, looking over the right shoulder. Inhaling to release, and then bring the hands back onto the knees. From here, let's squeeze the shoulders up to the ears. We're going to squeeze and hold for 3, 2, 1, and then drop the shoulders with a sigh. One more time. Inhaling to squeeze for 3, 2, 1, and release. And give the head a shake from side to side. Lovely. So we're going to move for a little shoulder strengthening exercise. So some of us, or many of us, have issues with our shoulders, which is quite normal. So be very mindful here of how your shoulder feels today. So any movements that are not good, you can tone them down. Or if it still doesn't feel good, just skip the exercise. We're going to move on to the next exercise in a moment. So let's start by reaching our right hand forward. Bring the thumb to the inside and wrap the fingers round. And then begin to draw big circles while I take a sip of my lemon and ginger and honey. Very healthy. Good. Big, big circles here going one way and the other way, changing direction. Just so we're moving a little bit, warming up through our wrists. And then release your thumb, open the fingers wide. Exhale, give it a good squeeze. 2 more like this. Inhale, squeeze. Reach. Exhale to squeeze. 1 more, inhaling, reaching, spreading the fingers. Exhale to squeeze, and you can really feel that heat that generates. Next time you inhale, you reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, let them swing down behind you. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, let it swing down behind you. You can swing it back a little bit if that's okay for your shoulders. 1 more time, inhale, reach up. And on the next exhale, let the arm fall behind you, adding the full rotation. This is the point where we need to be careful. If it doesn't feel good for us, inhale to reach. Exhale to release. Good, feels quite crunchy in my shoulders. 1 more round. Exhale, release the arm back behind you, and then slide the right arm back onto the right knee. Close the eyes for a moment. And notice how your right shoulder feels right now compared to the left shoulder. You might notice a subtle difference. You might notice an obvious difference. There might be tingling, there might be heat, there might be warmth in that right shoulder. And then let's blink the eyes open and swap onto the other side. So bring your left arm forward, thumb comes to the inside, wrap the fingers around. And just a word of explanation, if you have any issues with your joints in the hands, arthritis, or just discomfort due to this cold gray weather, then just let your thumb be loose. So if it feels okay, you can wrap the fingers around and then draw those circles. And we've got the thumb on the inside because that allows us to move a little bit more into the stretch on the side of the wrist. Change direction, go the other way. And then back to center. Inhaling, extend the fingertips wide. Exhale, give them a squeeze. Inhaling to extend. Exhale, big squeeze. 1 more time, inhaling. Exhale, big squeeze. And then next inhale, spread them wide, reach the arm up to the ceiling. And then exhale, let it sink back behind you. Inhaling to reach. Exhale, let the arms sink back. 1 more time, inhale, reaching. And if it feels good in your body, you can allow the arm to fall back behind you. This can be a really big circle, it can be a really small circle. And if it doesn't feel good to do this with the full arm, just keep your left hand on the left knee and just draw some circles with your shoulders. So we're encouraging some movement here, full movement in the shoulder joint. Make this your last one. And then release the hand down onto the shoulders. Shrug the shoulders up, back and down a few times. Give your head a shake and a little twinging. Let that disappear. Good, beautiful. And then let's take a little release for our lower backs. So allow the forearms to come down to the knees and allow the lower back to really round. So I'm going to move sideways here. You can see. Really allow the lower back to round, the head to come forwards and down. If it feels quite easy for you and you can't really feel that stretch too much yet, then you can release the hands down towards the earth. If not, stay resting here on the forehead and just allow on the knees and just allow the spine to lengthen. If you're down on the floor and you want a little bit more, you can take your left hand and bring it over onto the right chair leg. And then add a little bit of a pull here. So we're opening a little bit into the shoulders. And if you still feel very stable, you can take the opposite hand, so your right hand, and slide it over to the left chair leg and gently drawing yourself down. Now, don't draw too hard. We don't want any little tumble turns. And then release the arms, walk them back up onto the legs and roll the shoulders up, back and down. Good. So we have moved systematically for the upper part of the body. So this is a really good little sequence. If you just sometimes want to do a little bit of warming up just for the upper body, let's do a little bit through our lower body and begin to walk out the feet. So this is always my go-to when it comes to warming up through the feet, lifting one heel and then the other. Good. And then just keep walking. I'm going to do this a few more times, and it becomes very tiring very quickly. I'm not sure if you can feel this. I can definitely feel this. Walking out the legs. And then allow the feet to come back down. So let's take one round of our toe exercises. I'm going to take my socks off in the hope that you might be able to see a little bit better on your screen. My pasty white feet against the grey blanket. So notice how I'm spreading the toes really wide, and that already really activates for the arches of the feet. So that alone is probably a really good exercise in itself, but we're going to add a little bit to it here. Grounding down through the full base of your foot, but lift all 10 toes and check that your feet are not starting to roll in or roll out. They're really nice and stable. It's just the toes that are lifted. And as we do that, the arches of our feet have to work a little bit harder. And then let's ground down through the big toes. And many of us will struggle with this, and that's normal, because when do we ever pay attention to our toes, our poor toes? They don't get any attention at all. So lift the big toes again. And then let's see if we can ground for the little toes, just the little pinky toes. But check that you're not rolling your feet out. The feet stay nice and grounded. And then lifting all 10 toes. And let's see if we can ground for both the big toes and the little toes. Keep the other toes lifted. And I know for some of you, you find it quite helpful to actually reach down and lift your other toes, and that's totally legitimate. And then release the toes, walk out the feet. Let that go. Good. Now you will, if this doesn't work at all for you, that's normal. What we are trying to do with this, we're trying to kind of give the neural pathways between our head and our toes a little bit of an exercise to do. So even if your toes are not moving in any way at all, you're still training those nerve receptors. So keep doing it, and you will notice after maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks, that all of a sudden the toes will start to move when you tell them to. And then if you keep training it, you will be able to start doing it. It takes time. But hey, if there's one thing we have a lot of right now, it is time. So next time you're on the toilet or you're sitting in front of the TV, do a little bit of toe exercise. Okay, let's walk out the feet, and let's add a final leg stretch here before we move into our relaxation. Slide your hands behind your left leg, roll the shoulders up, back and down, and then gently, gently extend your left leg out long. And we want to be very mindful here that we're not starting to lean back as we do this, sitting forward. And if that's really hard work for our lower back, then you can lower the foot further down. You can even keep the foot fully on the floor. And then begin to point the toes and flex the toes, pointing the toes again and flexing. One more on each. Feel the stretch across the front of the foot and the back of the foot, and then draw some big, big circles here, going one way. Ooh. Clicky feet, and then the other way, change direction. And then draw the knee into the body. Give it a moment of rest. You can even lower it down for a moment. Check that you're still sitting up nice and straight. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to kick that left leg away from the body. Inhale to hug it in. Exhale to kick it out. So giving our legs a little bit of strengthening. We're going to do 3 more here. If this is quite tricky for you, you don't have to extend the leg fully. If this is quite easy for you, try doing it without your hands. But that's really hard. And then draw the foot in. So I think it's 2 more, if I haven't counted wrongly. And I tend to, but I think this is now the last one. So extend it out long. If you want to challenge yourself, take the fingertips away for a moment, hug it into the body, release the leg down and give your thigh a good squeeze. Let that go. And it's quite normal here to feel almost a sense of cramping across the front of the leg as you're using muscles that are not getting much exercise. But these muscles are really important. They're helping us to get up, to feel stable when we're on our feet. So it's worth doing this. Let's swap sides. Bring your hands behind the right leg. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Take an inhale. And then exhale, extending the leg. Point the toes and flex the toes. And correct yourself here. If you've started to lean back, help yourself back up. If it's too hard, don't worry. Lower the leg. Maybe even bring it fully down onto the floor. There's no bonus points if you do the full exercise. That's not what yoga is about. Yoga is about working with whatever we find in our body in any given day. Let's see if we can do so with kindness. Draw some big circles going one way. And then the other way. And then hug the knee into the body. Maybe give yourself a little pit stop to shrug out the shoulders. Good. Last exercise here. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, extend the leg out long. Inhaling, hug it in. Exhale, kick the leg away. Remember, you can turn it up, you can turn it down, whatever you want to. Last 3, maybe take the hands away. Inhale, I don't think I'm going to take the hands away. This is too hard. 1, 2 more. Draw the leg in, and this is your final one. Extend the leg out long, take the fingertips away. Hug the knee into the body. And then release the leg down. And again, give yourself that little squeeze. Up and down the leg. Give your head a little shake from side to side. Close the eyes for a moment. And depending on where you are today, how you are feeling, if you're feeling quite energetic and you don't want to stop moving, this is a great place to pause the video for a moment, to do a round or 2 of our sun salutations. But if, like me, you need a little bit of a more mellow practice, then allow yourself to shuffle back on your chair to come back into our starting position. So allowing the whole lower back to be supported by the chair. That feels good. Putting on any layers, any socks, maybe place a blanket over your lap. Take a sip of water or tea. And take a deep breath in. And a gentle sigh out. Long breath in. And sigh out. And then one more. Inhaling. And sigh out. And allow yourself to get really heavy. Allow your belly to puff out. Allow your body to gently slump down towards the floor. And then bring the awareness down onto your breathing. I would like to finish today's practice with a round of pranayama, the round of pranayama that I tend to practice when I'm lying in bed at night and my mind just does not want to switch off. It gives our mind something to do, and it allows us to tap into that side of the nervous system that is in charge of resting, of sleeping, of digesting, of healing. So we're going to breathe into the count of 4 and then exhale to the count of 6. And we really need to slow the exhalation down, maybe even doing so through pursed lips, as if you're trying to blow out a Christmas candle. So take a normal breath in through the nose and a normal breath out through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose again and out through the mouth. And then close the mouth, breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And let's breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathing in and out. Take 3 more in your own time. And then allow yourself to settle here, letting go of any counting in your head. And let the breath return to whatever feels good for you. Bring the awareness slowly down into the sole of your right foot. And as I mentioned, a body part, place your awareness, your mind's eye on that part of the body. And then imagine you're switching it off. You're letting go of any final muscular effort you're holding there. Starting with the sole of the right foot. Release the top of the right foot, the right toes, right ankle, lower leg, right knee, right upper leg, and the right side of the hip. Releasing the sole of the left foot, top of the left foot, left toes, ankle, lower leg, left knee, left upper leg, and left side of the hip. Release the belly. Soften into the lower back, middle back, upper back, to the right shoulder, right upper arm, elbow, lower arm, top of the right hand, palm of the right hand, right thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Release across the chest into the left shoulder, left upper arm, elbow, lower arm, top of the left hand, palm of the left hand, left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, and little finger. Release all the way up the neck, across the throat, soften the jaw, your tongue, cheeks, nose, eyes, and forehead. Allowing your whole body to rest here. And if the mind decides to wander off, that's okay, that's what the mind does. But notice when it happens, catch yourself and see if you can invite your awareness back. Just here into the present moment, into your body, resting here. Slowly, without moving, become aware of any sounds around you, any sounds you can hear, starting with the sounds that are further away from you, until you notice the sounds that are closer to you. Maybe my voice, your own breath, or maybe even noticing the sound of your own heartbeat. Bring the awareness to your breath and allow the breath to deepen. Before inviting a few little wriggles through your fingers and your toes. Make those wriggles a little bit bigger. And in the next inhale, still with your eyes closed, stretch the fingertips up to the ceiling. Give yourself a good stretch from side to side in whatever way feels good for your body. Waking up your body, ready for a beautiful rest of the day ahead of you. And then lower the palms down. Bring the palms into Anjali Mudra at heart center. So palms touch, thumbs in contact with the sternum. The eyes are still gently closed. And take a moment of appreciation towards yourself for making this time in your day to practice, to move, to spend this time. And let's honor that. Let's honor our bodies and, of course, each other. Gently bowing the head towards the hands. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much. Wow, I can't believe we've done 9 months of chair yoga virtually with a few little breaks of being together in person at the Age Exchange here in Blackheath Village. Thank you so much for everybody who's joining us from further afield than Blackheath. Now this Christmas will look quite a lot different to what we are normally used to, and at least if you're here in London, it might be that you're spending your Christmas on your own, which is of course not what we want to do, but right now with the situation, it is just the most sensible thing. And whatever happens, we know from our yoga practice that things change. Vaccines are happening. I know many of you have actually received your first round of vaccinations, which is wonderful. Gives me great hope that no matter what situation we're in, we are moving into a brighter future and a future where we can be together again in person. Now that from today, it's winter solstice, the days are officially getting longer again. Praise, praise be. So hopefully, at the very least, come spring, we will be able to practice again together in the garden, but hopefully before then as well. Now, in the meantime, the online videos are there for you. Our library is there for you. And if you have any thoughts, comments, or questions, please always feel free to get in touch. Thank you so, so much. Have a lovely Christmas despite everything that's going on. Have a lovely time, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.